So we're in 2 Kings 12. Now remember when we ended the last time? King Joash, he just took over, and he was saved by the priest and his wife, because he would have been the last person in the line of David. And Glenn might have said something about it last time. He said the queen would have been just before him, would have been the first woman they had in charge. So let's start reading. In the 7th year of Joash became king, and he reigned 40 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Ziba of Beersheba. Judah did what was right in the sight of the Lord all the days which Jehu, the priest, instructed him. But the high places were not taken away. The people still sacrificed and burned incense on the high places. And Jehu said to the priest, all the money of dedicated gifts that are brought into the house of the Lord, each man sends his money, each man assessments monies, and all the money that the men purpose in his heart to bring into the house of the Lord, let the priests take it themselves, each for his consistency, and let them repair the damages of the temple where any dilapidation is found. So here's Jehu. He's reigning, right? And the priest, he did good in the sight of the Lord as long as he had which Jehu, the priest, instructed him. When he had him there instructing him, he did good. Now, how many of us, you look at people, when somebody is instructing them, they're following the Lord. But then whenever they leave, somebody leaves. Look at the churches, how they fall apart sometimes when a pastor leaves. Who are they really worshiping? Are they worshiping that guy, or are they actually worshiping the Lord? You really can tell with a lot of people when their main people leave. Who are they there for? Are they really there to follow the Lord, or are they really there because somebody else is leading them? What is in our hearts? And at this time, he tore down the altars and everything around there in his town, but he didn't tear down the ones up in the mountains. And the people were going out still sacrificing to the false idols up on the mountain. But also, you look at here, and he also noticed that the temple was in ruins. And he was smart enough to say, let's start taking money and fixing them up. He told the priest, use the money that I have sentences for you. So they were allowed to go around town and pick up the money and fix up the temple. And he gave the priest the job to do this. But then in verse 6 it says, now it was so by the 23rd year of King Joash that the priests had not repaired the damages of the temple. So wait a minute here. He started this. How old was he when he became the king? 7 years old. And this is 20. So he was young when he told him to do this. And now it's the 23rd year, so he'd be in his 30s now, wouldn't he? And these priests still didn't do anything. He's upset with them. He gave him a chance to do it. He didn't go right in and yell at him right away, get this done. He knew it was going to take time. But they didn't do it, did they? So in verse 7, so King Joash called Jehoiada the priest and the other priests and said to them, "Why have you not repaired the damages on the temple? Now, therefore, do not take more money from your consistent, but deliver it for repairing the damages of the temple." And the priests agreed that they would neither receive more money from the people, nor repair the damages of the temple. Then Jehoiada the priest took a chest, bored a hole in it, lid, and set it aside, the altar on the right side, and one comes into the house of the Lord. And the priests who kept the door put there all the money brought into the house of the Lord. So that it was, whenever they saw that there was much money in the chest, that the king, scribes, and high priests came up, put it in a bag, counted the money, and they found it. That was found in the house of the Lord. Then they gave the money which had been appointed into the hands of those who did not work, who had oversight of the house of the Lord, and they paid it out to the carpenters and builders who worked on the house of the Lord, and to the masons and stone cutters, and for the buyers of the timber and hewn stones, to repair the damage of the house of the Lord, and for all that was paid out to the repair of the temple. However, there was not made for the house of the Lord basins of silver, trimmed, sprinkled bowls, trumpets, any articles of gold or articles of silver, for the money brought into the house of the Lord. But they gave that to the workmen in the repair of the house of the Lord with it. So here he is. He's trying to find out, why aren't they doing this? And the priests are saying, well, we're not getting enough money. So what are they doing? They're either overpaying themselves, or they're being lazy, because they were already told that they could tax the people for the money. So all they had to do was go out and get the money, didn't they? You know, we can do the same thing in our lives when we're doing stuff. We can be too busy with other stuff and not doing what needs to be done for the house of the Lord, or we can get lazy. You know, these are the things that happen, isn't it? But what does he do? He takes it over himself. And when he takes it over, they start taking all the money and counting it, don't they? They are making sure they're completely accountable for all the money that comes in. He's making sure that all this money is counted and taken care of, and it's being used where it's supposed to be used. I can say I'm glad here, years ago, I know they put in a lot of things to make sure stuff isn't being used wrong here. I mean, just like we have people that count the money. Then you have a person that takes the money to the bank. You have a person that counts all the envelopes to make sure the money's right. You have a person that writes out the checks. All those are put in order to make sure that we're doing stuff right, isn't it? That's what he's doing here. He's making sure that all the money is actually used where it's supposed to be, and the repairs are being done. He's overseeing it. And this is what we're supposed to be doing with the money of the Lord, and taking care of stuff, isn't it? And in verse 15, moreover, they did not require an account from the man in those hands. They delivered the money to be paid to workmen, for they dealt faithfully. The money from the trespass offerings and the money from the sin offerings was not brought into the house of the Lord. It belonged to the priest. So the priests are still getting paid, aren't they? All this extra money was coming in was strictly for the repairs in this building. And it wasn't for the vessels they were using and everything. It's just repairs in the building. Because if you remember, back when Ahab was in there, they were taking a lot of the stuff out of them, out of the temples, weren't they? These temples haven't been repaired. They were taking like the gold and everything out of them. They're stealing it and using it for the other gods. In verse 17, Hazael threatened Jerusalem. Hazael, king of Syria, went up and fought against Gath and took it. Then Hazael set his face to go up to Jerusalem. Then Jehu, king of Judah, took all the sacred things that his father Joshaphat and Joram and Hazael, king of Judah, had dedicated, and his own sacred things, and all the gold found in the treasury of the house of the Lord, in the king's house, and sent them to Hazael, king of Syria. Then he went away from Jerusalem. So here he is. He's taken all the stuff out of the temple, isn't he? And using it as bargaining for. Because he said he went up against Gath and took it. Then Hazael sent his face to go to Jerusalem. And Jehu, the king of Judah, took all the sacred things that his father Joshaphat, Joram, Hazael, king of Judah. He's taking them all, isn't he? And he's using it as a bargaining thing for Hazael, the king of Syria. And in verse 19 it says, Now the rest of the act of Joash and all that he did, are they not written in the book of Chronicles of the king of Judah? And his servants arose, formed a conspiracy, and killed Joash in the house of Millo, where he goes down to Silon. For Josiah, the son of Shimeah, and Jasa, the son of Shona, his servant, struck him. So he died, and they buried him with his father in the city of David. Then Ahaz, his son, reigned in his place. So here he is passing away, don't he? And who killed him? His own servants. He turned away from God, didn't he? When Jehoiada, when he passed away, the priest, what did he do? He turned the wrong way, didn't he? He turned his life away from God. And what did God do? God took his hand off him. He was afraid of Syria. Syria was only half the size army of what he had. He had twice the size of army. And when you go back to Chronicles, it tells you that. He was afraid of them. Why would he be afraid of them? When you don't have God on your side, you let that fear you, don't you? Let's go to prayer.